the right. To adjust the stitch width, press the stitch width plus or minus key on the left. For most sewing construction on woven fabrics, a straight stitch is used. Select the straight stitch number 1 in direct mode 1. Set the thread tension dial between 3 and 7, depending on the fabric being sewn. Remember, at this time you can adjust the stitch width and length for your project. Raise the presser foot and position the fabric next to a seam guideline on the needle plate. Most sewing patterns allow for 5/8 of an inch seam allowances. Lower the needle at the top of the edge of the fabric, then lower the presser foot. Hold the threads towards the back of the machine. Depress the foot control. Gently guide the fabric along the seam guideline, letting the feed dogs move the fabric. It can be difficult to keep the stitch length consistent when sewing across thick seams or starting at the beginning of heavyweight fabrics. The extra thickness causes the stitches to become shorter and closer together. To eliminate this problem, the zigzag foot has a black button on the right side. When approaching a thick area such as the seam, first, stop the machine. Then press the needle up-down button once to lower the needle into the layers of fabric. Next, lift the presser foot and level the foot with your left hand. At the same time, with the little finger of your right hand, push the black button on the foot. While still holding the black button, lower the presser foot with your right thumb and index finger. If you find it difficult to push in the black button, continue trying while moving the front of the foot up and down. As you start to sew, release your finger from the black button. The handy black button on the zigzag foot replaces the traditional foot leveling methods, such as placing a small folded piece of fabric under the back of the foot or purchasing a foot leveler. The straight stitch is not just for sewing seams together. You can use it for many applications, such as regular seams, quilting, zipper sewing, darning, basting, and gathering. To select the triple stretch stitch, press number 3 in mode 1. This strong, durable stitch provides both elasticity and strength for applications that require durability. Use it to reinforce areas such as crotch and armhole seams, or when constructing heavy-use items such as backpacks. When zigzag stitch number 4 in mode 1 is selected, the preset width and length for the regular sewing are shown on the LCD screen. If you want to change the stitch width, make sure the needle is in the up position to avoid breaking or bending it. If the needle is down, press the needle up-down button to raise it. The zigzag stitch is one of the most common and versatile stitches available. It can be used for satin stitching, bar tacking, button sewing, overcasting, mending, darning, appliques, and cut work. The blind hem stitch is a quick and secure way to hem knits, cottons, and many other types of fabrics. To sew the blind hem, select stitch number 22 in mode 2. Change the presser foot to the blind stitch foot. If you use a fine thread, you can adjust the stitch so it is invisible or almost invisible on the right side of the fabric. Fabrics that unravel easily should be over-edged first. The blind hem foot has a sliding guide screw that allows you to precisely control where the needle pierces the edge of the fabric fold. When you turn the screw towards you, the guide moves to the right. When you turn the screw away from you, the guide moves to the left. To achieve the best stitching position on fine fabrics, move the guide to the left. Be careful not to move the guide too far left, or too much of the needle thread may appear on the right side of the fabric. Adjust the screw so the needle just pierces the fold on the fabric at the leftmost position of the stitch. The overedge stitch is a reinforced stitch. Use it when sewing 1/4 inch seam allowances on knits and woven fabrics that do not need to be pressed open. You can also use the stitch to finish the edge of a single layer of fabric to prevent it from unraveling, or lend a neat appearance to the inside of an unlined garment. There are two types of overedge stitches: regular overedge and double overedge. To select the regular overedge stitch, press stitch number 6 in direct mode 1. This stitch pattern combines straight and zigzag stitches, stitching and overcast seams in one step. Place your fabric under the overedge foot so that the raw edges fit under the wire guides and touch the black ridge and brush the guide. Depress the foot pedal to start sewing. A forward and backward motion forms the stitch. At the end of the seam, lift the presser foot and ease the stitches backwards, taking care to avoid catching the threads on the wires. A similar type of stitch is double overedge stitch. This stitch is used for sewing fabrics that tend to unravel, such as linens and gabardines. To select the stitch, select mode 2 and press stitch number 12. 2 rows of zigzag stitches are simultaneously sewn over the edge of the fabric to keep your seam from unraveling. You may need to adjust the thread tension so the needle thread and the bobbin thread meet at the edge of the fabric. There are 5 built-in buttonholes on the Kenmore 19233, providing you with ample selection from which to choose an appropriate buttonhole for your garment. You will find Bar-Tack buttonhole in mode 1 and 4 other styles in mode 2. The Bar-Tack or square buttonhole is the most commonly used buttonhole. The round end buttonhole is used for fine fabrics. The keyhole buttonhole is excellent for coats and jackets made of heavyweight fabric. The extra room at the end of the buttonhole allows the button to fit through with ease. There are 2 buttonholes suitable for knit fabrics: the stretch buttonhole and the knit buttonhole. They're designed to keep the knit fabric from stretching. These also can be used as decorative buttonholes when stitched on synthetic or suede leather. Your machine can automatically sew a perfectly sized buttonhole for a button up to 1 inch in diameter in one single step. Place a button on the back of the automatic button foot to push back the holder to hold the button. The machine determines the length of the buttonhole according to the size of the button. If the button is thick or domed, pull the holder back a bit. The extra length will allow the thick part of the button to pass through the buttonhole without stretching it. Attach the buttonhole foot and place the fabric under the foot. You can use the interfacing with the fabric for better results. Lower the presser foot and pull down the buttonhole lever as far as it'll go. Depress the foot control. The machine will begin to sew a buttonhole, stopping automatically when it is complete. On the second side of the buttonhole, a straight stitch is first sewn, followed by the zigzag stitch, so both sides of the buttonhole are sewn in the same direction. Choose any of the unique decorative stitch patterns from Mode 2 to embellish your garments or home decoration projects. Experiment with different stitch widths and lengths to change the stitch appearance. Create your own unique embroidery patterns with satin stitches of varying lengths and widths. The computerized memory allows you to create combinations of up to 50 stitches from Mode 2 for even more variety. Let's try combination with patterns number 93 and 94. Press the Mode 2 key. Enter stitch number 93 using the keypad and press the memory key. Enter stitch number 94 using the keypad and press the memory key. Select the satin foot F to the foot holder as instructed on your LCD screen. Notice the deep groove on the bottom of the foot. This groove allows the stitches to flow under the foot without catching. You now have a new decorative stitch combination. When stitching decorative patterns, place a stabilizer appropriate for your fabric on the underside of the fabric to keep it from tunneling or puckering. Also in Mode 2, you will find a selection of stitches that can be used for heirloom sewing and quilting. The Kenmore 19233 offers a wide range of elegant and traditional built-in heirloom stitches to create garments and home decorations you will treasure forever. There are 47 impressive built-in quilting stitches, including stitches with a hand-sewn look, as well as several stitches for the popular technique, crazy quilting. Create monogramming for quilt or clothing labels, as well as decorative phrases on clothing or home decor projects. Select Mode 3 to choose the letters. Enter the 2-digit pattern number from the keypad to select the desired characters. Attach satin foot F to the foot holder as instructed on the screen. Enter 21 for uppercase K, and then press the memory key. Enter 41 for lowercase e. Press the memory key. Enter 50 for lowercase n. Press the memory key. Enter 49 for lowercase m. Press the memory key. Enter 51 for lowercase o. Press the memory key. Enter 54 for lowercase r. Press the memory key. Enter 41 for lowercase e. Press the memory key. Now you are ready to sew Kenmore. To delete a character, press the left arrow key to shift the cursor to the left, or press the right arrow key to shift the cursor to the right. Then press the clear key to delete the character above the cursor. To insert a new character, press the left or the right arrow key to shift the cursor. Enter the new character from the keypad and press the memory key. The new character will be inserted before the cursor. Proper cleaning and maintenance of your sewing machine will keep it running trouble-free between regular maintenance checkups. Just remember, you should never attempt to oil your electronic machine. Also, before carrying out any maintenance or cleaning, be sure to turn off the machine and disconnect it from the power supply. Check the needle frequently to ensure its tip is not bent or blunt. If it is dull or bent, the stitches will not form properly and you may notice skipped stitches or thread loops. Replace it with an appropriate needle for your sewing project. A general rule is to change the needle after each project, or after 8 hours of sewing, depending on the type of fabric being sewn.